Here now at Cordoba, the famous Muslim capital of Islamic Spain for a very long time, especially during the Umayyad period. This was the Umayyad capital of Al-Andalus of Islamic Spain. What you see behind me, that major massive compound, is basically pretty much the Masjid Cordoba. Okay, now it has expanded. You can see the tower and you can see a lot around it. Much of it was built later on by the Christians, but the bulk of the compound consists of Masjid Cordoba. It is a massive building. It was a massive project. We mentioned earlier that there were four expansions, at least four expansions. One was by Abdurrahman I, who initiated the project in the 9th century, 800s, when this project was started, 870s, right? When this project was started, right? That stands to this day. That part inside the Masjid Cordoba stands to this day. And then the same design was followed and replicated in the following expansions. For example, Abdurrahman II also expanded, and then Hakam II expanded further down, and then the final expansion was done by Ibn Abi Amir, also known as Al-Mansur, in the late 11th century. In the late 10th century, 970s, right? So it was a massive compound. We will get close to it. This bridge basically is a Roman bridge. It has been here from the Roman period, but then it was separate. It was again rebuilt, and this bridge separates this side of the city from that side of the city. And there was a lot of Muslim population on this side as well of the bridge. Okay, so the river is which river, everyone? Wadi al-Kabir. Very good. Remember it in Arabic. You don't have to know the Spanish name Wadi al-Kabir. You don't have to remember that name. Wadi al-Kabir. Okay, this is the same river that runs through Seville. Thank you, Seville. So now this is Cordoba. It's a very beautiful city, very important in the history of Islam and Muslims. Major scholars of Islam walked through the streets. You will just walk, right? Ibn Hazm, very big name, right? Imam Qurtubi, the famous tafsir of the Quran. There are two major tafsir of the Quran scholars like to quote from. One is Tabari, Ibn Jarir al-Tabari. The second is Imam Qurtubi. That tafsir was written right there in that compound. That still, you can see it on the shelves of the scholars and the students. Imam Qurtubi. Ibn Abdul Barr, okay, he was also from here. Subhanallah, what was the name of the philosopher? Ibn Rushd, Averroes, also known as Averroes. Ibn Rushd was the Qadi of Cordoba, of this city. He was the Qadi, right? Many major important figures. We'll talk more about them inshallah later on. Until then, let's make our way to the masjid and look at more stuff inshallah. Hello, thank everyone. You. As you heard earlier, I explained, okay, this is the tower on the bridge, this side of the bridge. This is the bridge. This is ancient Roman bridge that was rebuilt by the Muslims, of course, and added to, and that's the compound of Masjid Cordoba there at distance. You can see it there, okay. This is Masjid Cordoba. Now it is a cathedral. This is where all the scholars and intellectuals walked. Just wanted to very quickly share this with you. And this is river Wadi al-Kabir or Wadi al-Kabir. River Wadi al-Kabir. Okay everyone, this is the tower. We are on the other side. This is the ancient remains. These are the ancient remains. Okay everyone, this is the tower, and this is the bridge overlooking the city of Cordoba. Just wanted to share this very quickly with you. This is river Wadi al-Kabir or Guadalquivir, as it is read in the English language. The name is actually Arabic, Wadi al-Kabir or Wadi al-Kabir. This is the river, as you can see. It was once upon a time Roman bridge. It was added to later on by Muslims, and that's the compound. That's the masjid there in front of us, Masjid Cordoba. This compound is Masjid Cordoba, everyone. Just keep that in mind. Okay, so we're gonna keep walking. It's very sunny today. It's very hot as well. So I just want to explain very quickly that this is the city of Cordoba. This is what it looked like once upon a time. Looks like this even today. And there were water wheels to pump water on the river. They don't no longer exist. There was one old one there on the side. I think it's covered by the trees now. But now we are walking into the city of Cordoba. More coming, inshallah. Okay, I mentioned a water wheel earlier. I don't know if this one exactly was built by the Muslims, but it is clearly built on an old site in Cordoba. This is the city of Cordoba. This is the river, Wad al-Kabir or Wadi al-Kabir. A water wheel potentially on this site was built by the Muslims, and this is the masjid. Okay everyone, this is Masjid Cordoba. This is the compound as we can see it from outside. Okay, and I'm here with Halal Getaways. It's a tour company that organizes these tours for Muslims around the world to come and visit these places. You must all come and visit Masjid Cordoba. On these streets walked Ibn Hazm, Ibn Rushd, Ibn Abdul Barr, and Imam Qurtubi, people like that. Just want to show you very quickly some of the entrances and some of the doors of Masjid Cordoba, how magnificent they are. Just look at this one, absolutely beautiful and magnificent. It still stands. This is at least from the 10th century. It's 1,000 years old. This particular gate. This is at least 1,000 years old. This is from the expansion of Ibn Abi Amir. Okay, this is at least 1,000 years old.
Ibn Abi Amr was Hakam the first.
Al-Mansur, no, yeah. Al-Hakam II was the son of Abdurrahman III. So the caliphate was announced from this masjid, and there are people who say if there was a fourth holiest site of Islam, it would have been Cordoba. It would have been this place, Cordoba Masjid. So everyone, I'm going to be sharing more from inside the masjid. Inshallah, I just wanted to share some glimpses with you from the outer walls. It's a massive compound, as you can all see. There's another gate here from the Muslim period. These are all entrances to the masjid. The Muslims would walk through these doors to enter the masjid. So brothers and sisters, this is the Masjid Cordoba, the famous Masjid Cordoba, where scholars, philosophers, thinkers, intellectuals, poets flourished, frequented this building and taught and learnt for hundreds of years. Cordoba was the Muslim capital for at least 400 years, and then it was taken in the mid 13th century. By 1250s, all of this was taken by the Christians, and the fact that it stands to this day is a miracle, no short of miracle. How it survived this building is also a very interesting story. We'll come back to that inshallah. Assalamu alaikum everyone. I'm about to enter Masjid Cordoba in Cordoba, Spain. This is Masjid Cordoba. Behold, this part was built by Abdurrahman I, who ruled from 756 onwards, and this part was built in 780s in the 8th century, almost 150 years apart from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam died in 632 CE. This building, this particular part you're looking at right now, was started in 780s, about from 632 to 780s, you can say about 150 years after the Prophet ﷺ passed away. This part specifically is from the 8th century CE, when Abdurrahman I had become an Amir, established Amir, and he built this Masjid Cordoba on the ruins of an ancient church, Visigothic church, which had since fallen into ruins. You can see the floor here of that ancient church here in the ground. Okay, you can see the floor, and there are signs of burning. You can see those black marks. There was a civil war here between the Christians as well, and this church fell into ruins after that. Abdurrahman I resurrected this masjid on top and paid the Christians a hefty amount to go and build churches elsewhere. So this space was acquired by Abdurrahman al-Dakhil, rahmatullah alayh, the first Umayyad Amir of Al-Andalus. You can see these arches, famous horseshoe arches, also known as palm arches because they represent palm trees from Damascus. You can see this looks like a palm tree, a trunk, and then branches on top. So this very part where I stand right now was built by Abdurrahman al-Dakhil Abdurrahman I, the first Umayyad Amir, who established the Umayyad state, which eventually fell in 1031 CE, almost 250 years later, 250 to 270 years later, that state fell, and then started the period of petty kingdoms, Muluk al-Tawaif, for the next 50 years. Then came in the Al-Murabitun and Al-Muwahidun, and then Al-Andalus was lost in the mid 13th century. By 1250s, the cities of Valencia, Cordoba, and Seville had fallen to Christians, and this masjid also and this city also fell into the hands of the Christians. The fact that this masjid survives to this day is no short of a miracle, because the Christians, having taken the land for Muslims, went on a destruction spree. They wanted to wipe out any trace of Islam. But how this masjid survived is absolutely fascinating. You can find the details when you come with us on the ground for a tour. I'm here with a tour company called Halal Getaways. They organize tours to Al-Andalus, to Islamic Spain for Muslims, to obviously seek inspiration. Now you can see the ground going up slightly here. This was the second expansion of the Masjid of Cordoba. Up to this point, this is the compound which was built by Abdurrahman I in the 8th century, and this was the second expansion in the 9th century by Abdurrahman II. Okay, so you come up, go slightly higher, and here you see the cathedral that was built right in the middle in the 16th century by the Christians. When Charles V came here, having looked at this cathedral, he rebuked these people, these bishops, these clergy and churchmen, for building something that could be built anywhere else in the world, and for destroying something that couldn't be built again, i.e. Masjid Cordoba. So this is a masterpiece par excellence. Everywhere you look at these arches. Allahu Akbar. What a place. And this is where the minbar was, where Abdurrahman III declared himself to be the caliph. Abdurrahman III declared himself to be the caliph of the Muslim Ummah from this very spot where you're looking at right now, between this arch or underneath this very arch. So this is the spot where he stood, and he declared himself to be the caliph of the Muslim Ummah. Okay, this happened exactly in the year 929 CE. You can see the roof from the Muslim period. Unbelievable architecture. Unbelievably beautiful, as you can see, everyone. Then the third expansion was carried out by Hakam II, the very son of Abdurrahman III, the caliph, who declared himself to be the caliph. Hakam II, he built this part. This part here was built by Hakam II, and this mihrab, the famous mihrab, was built by the orders of Hakam II, and his vizier Ja'far bin Abdurrahman carried out this work. This is mosaic work. Workers from Constantinople came to do this design, this mosaic work, and this is Absolutely magnificent calligraphy and floral work, as you can see here. You can see the verses in the Quran. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Huwalladhi Wallahu alladhi la ilaha illa huwa al-Malik al-Quddus as-Salam al-Mu'min al-Muhaymin al-Aziz al-Jabbar al-Mutakabbir Subhanallahi amma yushrikun. As you can see, on top of that you see the name of the Caliph. Okay, Amara al-Imam al-Mustansir billah Abdullah al-Hakam Amir al-Mu'mineen waffaqahu Allahu Mawlahu wa Hajibuhu Ja'far bin Abdurrahman rahmahullah. So it is clearly stated the name of the Caliph and his Hajib is clearly stated there. Okay, so you can look at the roof now. This is absolutely magnificent. This is the expansion done by Hakam II in the 10th century, to be precise 970s. All of this work is more than 1,000 years old. Allahu Akbar wa lillahi alhamd. So everyone, just want to share this with you. So this is amazing architecture and artwork. And the final expansion was done in this part by Ibn Abi Amir, who was a vizier to Hakam II, Hakam II's son rather, later on, and he became the de facto ruler of Al-Andalus because a strong leader was needed after the death of Hakam II, and he took over and he carried out many conquests. So this part you can see right there was expanded by Ibn Abi Amir, also known as Al-Mansur or Al-Manzur. Okay, there's a story that a woman didn't want to sell her land. She had a beautiful house with a palm tree in her house, and she said, I will not sell it for anything. And Ibn Abi Amir tried to pay any amount to get that building, that house, and she said she will not sell it. So she said, if I can be given a house just like mine, then I will exchange my house. So she was then given another house in exchange for the house she possessed, and then the land was acquired to do this very expansion. So her house was part of this land that you can see here. Many of these pillars have the names of the carvers. There is a name there on this pillar, as you can see, Amal Munabbih, if I'm reading this correctly. So this is the name of the carver. Now it's a cathedral. Unfortunately, you see these Christian images all over the place because it's been made into a cathedral. But it is a masjid. It was a masjid. And these are some of the names that you can find on the pillars. They have basically plastered them, or they have their casts made so that people can read the names. Masood is one of them, one of the workers. Okay. So there are so many different names and formulas and messages. So perhaps this one was Jewish, a Jewish carver who carved the pillar for the masjid, because Star of David is there. Nasr is one of them, you can see. Okay, Nasr, Masood, and there are initials as well. Okay, Nasr, Mubarak, for example, here. So these are the names of the people who carved these pillars. No? Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm gonna have to stop filming. So this is it with the experience. Okay everyone, we are out now. This is the masjid compound from outside. Obviously all of this was built later. There was a minaret there where the bell tower is now. There was a minaret built by Abdurrahman III in the 10th century, which still resides inside this tower. I've been told that it's been covered up by this tower. And this is the exit. This is the exit now. coming out, and I'm going to show you the door here outside as well. So it's a very huge compound built by the Muslims, and the last expansion was done in the 10th century, 970s onwards. So it's definitely 1,000 years old, the last expansion. And the earliest building work for the masjid was started in the 8th century in 780s. So from 780s to 970s, nearly 200 years, Muslims were working on this compound. They kept expanding due to the population growth. And you can see this is from the 10th century. Allahu Akbar. Okay, 1,000 years old Muslim architecture, you can see. It still remains pretty intact. There is some renovation work going on from time to time. Okay. And this is the old look. The old look, and that's the new look over there next to it. Although I prefer this look, which is very beautiful. Allahu Akbar wa lillahi alhamd. So everyone, just wanted to share this with you very quickly. Remember that you must visit Halal Getaways. Check out the website. We have future dates. Check out inshallah the website. And we do these visits and tours every now and then. Check out my social media accounts for future dates also. I will continue to post on my social media when I do visit Turkey, Spain, Bosnia, wherever. We do history tours so the Muslims can come and appreciate their history. Bring your youngsters, your kids, your families. Everyone needs to see this. This is the best investment you can make in your children. Let them behold this and they will never forget it for the rest of their lives. So from Cordoba, brothers and sisters, I'll say salams, and inshallah I'll be at Madinat al-Zahra tomorrow, which was built by Abdurrahman III specifically, and you will see me from there tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum.